San Francisco, autumn of 1966. Late evening. Rain on the windows. The Wan dojo smells of sweat, incense, and hardwood floors freshly cleaned an hour earlier. Most students have gone home. Only a handful remain, young fighters drilling kicks. Under dim yellow lights. Bruce Lee enters quietly. Black pants, gray sweatshirt, towel around his neck. He looks smaller in the heavy shadows, almost hidden, until he moves. Tonight wasn't supposed to be eventful. Just another night of training. But fate had other plans. Because waiting inside the dojo was a visitor. A man named Thomas Reed, a 6'4", 240-pound former Marine, recently returned from overseas. Broad shoulders, thick neck, veins like rope down his arms. A man used to commanding rooms the instant he stepped inside. And he didn't come to learn. He came to challenge. He stood in the center of the mats, arms crossed, boots still on, dripping rainwater. Two students approached him earlier and politely asked him to remove his shoes. He ignored them. Then he said it, loud, bold, echoing off the dojo walls. "I want to see the guy who thinks he can teach fighting to Americans." Bruce heard it as he entered, but he didn't react. He simply walked past the man, placing his gym bag down on the wooden bench. Thomas stepped forward, towering above Bruce by nearly a foot. He smirked. "You're Lee?" Bruce nodded gently. "You're smaller than I expected." Students froze. The dojo fell silent. Even the rain outside seemed to pause. Bruce didn't defend himself, didn't boast, didn't flex ego. He only asked, "Why are you here?" Thomas chuckled. "I've fought real fights, military, full contact. I don't believe in this stuff." He motioned to the students practicing drills, pretty moves, fast hands. But it won't stop a man who actually knows how to fight. Bruce studied him, not judgmental, but curious. Then he asked softly, "Would you like a demonstration?" Thomas smirked again, rolling his massive shoulders. "Yeah, show me what this kung fu stuff can do." The students formed a circle. Bruce walked to the center. His posture was relaxed, no tension, no intimidation. Thomas cracked his knuckles. "Stepping close," he said, loud enough so everyone could hear. "I've seen your movies, fun to watch, but in a real fight, you're too small." That was the moment the energy in the room changed. Bruce exhaled slowly, "Then try to grab me," he said. Thomas frowned. "Grab you?" Bruce nodded. "One attempt, your best." Thomas didn't hesitate. He lunged, fast, strong, confident. His big hands shot out like to bear traps, aiming for Bruce's shoulders. But Bruce wasn't there. He slid an inch, pivoted, redirected, touched Thomas's elbow and wrist. Two small contacts that seemed insignificant, until Thomas's body spiraled. He staggered forward, unable to stop himself, crashing onto one knee, hands slapping the floor to keep from falling face first. His breath caught, his eyes wide, shocked, confused. Bruce didn't attack, didn't hit, didn't embarrass him. He simply used Thomas's own momentum. The entire dojo gasped. Thomas stood slowly, face red. "Do it again." Bruce nodded. This time, Thomas was angrier. Full attack mode. He charged, trying to wrap his arms around Bruce's waist. What happened next lasted less than 2 seconds. Bruce stepped in, not away, in a short, snapping movement, almost invisible. A finger jab to the chest, a foot sweep, a palm guiding the direction of collapse. Thomas was flat on his back before his brain even processed what happened. He lay there, staring at the ceiling, chest rising and falling like he'd run a marathon. Bruce knelt beside him. "Are you hurt?" Thomas shook his head, unable to speak. Bruce offered a hand. Slowly, Thomas accepted. He stood, breathing heavily, no arrogance left, no bravado. He whispered, How did you do that?" Bruce smiled gently. "You were fighting with muscle. I was fighting with intention." Thomas blinked. Bruce continued, "Strength pushes, power flows, force meets resistance. But intention bypasses resistance entirely." The students listened, not moving, not breathing. Bruce placed a hand on Thomas's shoulder. "You're strong, very strong, but your strength is isolated. Chest here, arms here, legs there. Fighting requires everything to become one. Thomas swallowed hard. Can you teach me? Bruce nodded. If you're willing to empty your cup first. That night, something changed. Not just for Thomas, who became one of Bruce's most dedicated students, eventually teaching others what he learned, but for everyone watching, because they saw something rare, a man strong enough to dominate, but humble enough to learn, a master skilled enough to embarrass, but compassionate enough not to, and a moment powerful enough to silence an entire room, but gentle enough to transform a man's life. Years later, Thomas would tell his own students, Bruce didn't just beat me. He showed me a version of myself I didn't know existed, and that is Bruce Lee's true power. Not the speed, not the kicks, not the one-inch punch, but the ability to change a person from the inside out. To turn ego into humility, muscle into mastery, and strength into wisdom. So ask yourself, where in your life are you still relying on strength, when what you really need is intention?